Yeah, but we've said time and time again, we can't really control that. My mates up in Leeds have been sending me pictures this morning, waking up to snow and some forecast for tonight. We've prepared as best we possibly can. We'll set off early tomorrow morning, train at Cirencester on the way up. We're hopeful that, similar to the Barrow situation, if the game's clearly going to be off, the EFL or the referee and the opposition will make an early call and save us getting all the way up there. But similar to what we spoke about, I can't affect that in any way. I just want the players' mindset to be that we're going up there for a game of football, and a game of football we want to win.
You know, if the game is off, it's always going to be 2 months between playing away games. Do you feel that, you know, the postponements, being prepared for a game, it has an effect on the players, whether it's, you know, both physically and psychologically?
It certainly doesn't help, because you spend all your time preparing for what's next, and what's next is always a fixture which you look forward to. You prepare your team, you set the team up, and you train accordingly. And it's strange, because if you get a block of where you know full well you've got no games coming up, you can train differently. But we're preparing for what's next, and then certainly when the travel's involved, it takes a little bit out of you mentally to get yourself up and then back down again in terms of what's to come. But I've said time and time again, we're not in a bad position as a football club, and we're in a privileged position as staff and players. So I just hope, you know, an early call is made in relation to our travel, but we go up there expecting a good enough pitch for a good enough game of football, and one we want to go and start picking up some points. Only a month ago we played Harrogate, and we're disappointed with our own performance. Full credit to them, and they beat us fair and square on the evening. But we're going up there for a different outcome.
You touched on it there. My next question was about that Harrogate game a month ago. Going up there, you know, to get a bit of revenge. You weren't happy with the performance in that home game, and it was only 3 league games ago that we actually played them. Does that make it easier for you that it hasn't been long since we played them?
No, they've signed some players. I think they've signed five players since then. I think that game was after the Tranmere game, and it just felt like we didn't quite have it in our legs that night, and we couldn't quite get it in ourselves to compete like we needed to do, and we couldn't quite move the ball or affect the opposition. Plus, we gave away some poor goals that evening as well. So, like I say, that we can't affect that result now, and we've got to look forward to what's next. But the Harrogate team might have a slightly different dynamic to what they did on that Tuesday night, and I fully expect our team to perform differently to what we did then as well. On the back of 2 tough games so far already this week, we might have to freshen up in terms of personnel, and this is where the squad's going to be really tested, on the back of a couple of little niggles we picked up as well.
And after Harrogate had their game postponed on Tuesday night quite late on, they're going to be desperate to play this one as well. So
yeah,
everything crossed that, you know, the weather holds out for us.
Yeah, I think that they'll have been as frustrated as us. I think they had one called off just after half-time a couple of weeks ago, the first Carlisle encounter, and then obviously not even getting to start the game due to, was it a power cut on Tuesday night in the town? So, like I said, they'll be chomping at the bit, but we've got to go up there and match that intensity and match that desire. 2 teams desperate to start picking up points.
Quick one on the availability of players. Do you know any more about Jake Taylor? How long you're looking at he'll be out for?
He's sore. We don't think it's a significant tear, but it's certainly a strain of some nature. The next week will determine how long Jake's out for. Hopefully it settles down pretty quickly. He's a quick healer. We had a catch up with him this morning, and it's incredible. He's never damaged his hamstring before. He's never had a muscle injury. Shows how durable he is as a player, and he's our captain and will be sorely missed. But probably shows how it's been a little bit disjointed of late, and you can never quite get the right balance between overtraining and undertraining, and the exertion of games as well. And Jake's a player who gives everything no matter what the circumstances. And Saturday and Tuesday, and all of a sudden he's picked up an injury. So we hope he's not out for too long. Initial impressions are that it's not a serious tear, but hamstring injuries generally a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks.
It was good to see Pierce Sweeney back though, back sooner than I think some of us expected as well.
Yeah, Pierce is another one. Very rarely picks up muscle injuries, and he picked one up on Boxing Day. Hopefully similar to this Jake situation, where it's not a serious tear, it's a mild strain, and you can get him back on a training pitch within sort of 2 weeks really, and then build them up again. It was good to see Pierce back and performing well. For large parts on Tuesday night, we defended that goal really well. And it was just a bit of good play for a small period by Bolton, which got him back in the game. And Pierce has certainly performed to a certain level in recent times, and we need him available. Hopefully we'll keep him available for the remainder of the season.
Finally then, I mean, what can you say? How is our potential new signing doing? Obviously, sod's law with that COVID diagnosis.
Yeah, exactly that. Not ideal in terms of the way it is, but it's happening all around the country. It's happening at all different clubs. We can't control that. The lad's in isolation at the moment, and he's having to be patient. We can't rush him when he does come back, and we'll have to assess where he's at fitness-wise. But we hope to announce that. I think he might be able to sign the contracts and the documents via an e-document from the secretary. So we might be able to announce it in the next few days. If not, then it'll be sometime next week. But it shows we're trying to do the right thing. The player's safety is paramount. It's the most important thing at the moment. And unfortunately, he's moved down to Exeter, and he's got to stay indoors for the first part of his career, and his sort of his time down here. It's incredible, because I've been telling him what a lovely place it is to go out and visit and see the areas. But that's the way it is at the moment. Like I say, it's happening time and time again, not just in the sporting world, but in everyday life.
And have we pursued, or have you made contact with any other clubs about potential players?
Yeah, we put offers in front of players and clubs. It's a strange market at the moment. I said on a previous interview that there's the potential that some clubs are keeping hold of their players, because if you pick up a lot of positive tests in quick succession, you need a big squad. So that means the loan market's not as straightforward as what it might have been previously. But financially, everyone's at a different place, and some clubs haven't been affected financially. Other clubs have. We still know we're looking to strengthen this squad, but I can't just bring in players for the sake of bringing in players. I've got a lot of good young players waiting in the wings and waiting for their opportunity. So anyone I do bring in has got to make a difference to what we've got so far. And the lads have performed pretty well. We were actually disappointed not to pick up 3 points on Tuesday night against such a big club like Bolton, and a team who've improved their style of play. And that's where we are. We want to keep winning games, or get back to winning games and picking up points. A little bit of lost time and lost fixtures and games to make up on, and obviously starts this weekend.
Great stuff, Matt. Thanks very much. Hopefully, everything crossed that we get to Harrogate and have a game on Saturday.
Definitely, fingers crossed.